Today we're going to talk about whether active duty, National Guard, and the reserves all go to the same basic training or if it's different. But without further ado, let's get to it. What is up, guys? Ben Allen back again with another video, and like I just said, we're going to be talking about if basic training is the same for active duty, National Guard, and the reserves. But before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this video, some background information on myself for those of you that may be new. My name is Ben Allen Alvarado. I did 4 years active duty as a 68 whiskey. I got out as a sergeant in September 2019, did the civilian thing for a while, and then decided, hey, I missed the Army, but not enough to go back active, so I decided to go into the reserves. So I've been in the reserves for about a year and some change now. So if you guys have any questions, whether it's active duty or the reserves, I have the knowledge from both. So I will try to answer those questions to the best of my abilities. The best possible place to reach me is through my Instagram at Ben_Allen175. Shoot me a question, drop a follow. I'll try to get back to you as fast as I can with a response. Or if you just want to interact here on this video, just comment down below whatever it is your questions, and comment down below whether you're active duty, National Guard, or the reserves, right? But if you're new here, be sure to like this video. Liking, guys, really helps our video get pushed out to a larger audience, so I'm really counting on you guys to hit that like button, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button. Around 80% of you guys that are watching right now are not subscribed, and that's straight from my YouTube analytics, so it would mean a lot if you guys could just smash that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds, so please take the time to do that. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the topic. So guys, pretty simple topic we're covering today. I get asked this question frequently enough to where I was like, hey, let me make a video on it. But the short answer is no. You guys do not have different basic trainings, right? Active duty, reserves, National Guard all go to the same basic trainings, the same AITs. There really is no difference between them at all, like, as a matter of fact, because I went to basic training, there was National Guardsmen, there was reservists, and there was active duty people like myself. So they really didn't do like any segregation in terms of, you know, reserves, National Guard, active duty. You're all training together, you're in the same bay, you get the same DFAC. There's no significant differences. The only thing I will say, and we'll hit on it later, is kind of the personalities that come into play in terms of you can tell who's in the National Guard and the reserves versus, you know, who's in the active duty, simply because of the way they act. Because, you know, some reservists and National Guards have been doing, like, what I think it's like a couple of drills before they shipped out to basic training, so they've been instilled, you know, by their leadership, some Army values and some things like that. And they're super high speed, or they did some JROTC programs, and you could really pick them out, right? But in terms of the training, everything is the same. You know, you guys go through yellow, red, white, blue phase all together the same way as anybody would in basic training, right? And then you go on to AIT. Whatever your MOS is, you're going to be there with the same people. Not the same people. It's going to be a little different depending on where you're going to AIT and when you're going to AIT. But for the most part, it's going to be filled with reservists, National Guards, and National Guardsmen, and people that are also in active duty. So you really don't have to be worrying about, oh, is my basic training experience going to be hindered because I'm in the National Guard or I'm in the reserves? No, it's not. You're going to be there just the same as everyone else. You're going to be doing the same thing, like I've already mentioned multiple times in this video, right? And the same thing, the weapons qual is the same, grenades is the same, whatever it is you're doing, combatives, if they start doing it, probably not, because of the whole Rona going on, right? They don't want you guys close together because they could possibly spread the virus. But yeah, and those are just some of the things, right? And now we're going into how you can spot who's who. And these are also some tips on what not to do at basic training, because sometimes, like, the National Guardsmen, primarily, some of the reservists also, were just so, like, full of it and, like, cocky, like, oh, you know, I've been to a couple of drills already, I know how the Army works, listen to me, like, just demanding the respect, you know what I mean? Trying to throw themselves into leadership positions. If you have to say you're the leader, you're not the leader, you know what I mean? But that's usually how it go. Like, there's this one dude, he was a guardsman, he's so annoying, bro. You could tell he was like in JROTC, and, you know, in like high school or whatever, like one of those kids. And there's a couple other ones. Don't get me wrong, this is not every single National Guardsman or reservist. I mean, I know some active duty people like this, but usually it's the ones that have already gone to a couple of like drills before that, and they've just kind of like, you know, like, oh yeah, I got my uniform in the Army, like blah blah blah, you know, thank me for my service, all that type of stuff. It's crazy, it's funny to see, but it can get kind of annoying because chances are those are the dudes that are gonna get your platoon smoked, right? Even the drill sergeants are like, oh, okay, high speed, you want to say this, and that, let's do it. And then if they mess up or they get something wrong, hey, push-ups for everybody, right? And they just end up being like, you know, hated and ostracized and just kind of like, all right, dude, like, shut up, it's cool, we get it. You're in the National Guard, you JRTC in high school, like whatever, nobody cares. And so going into that, right, you guys got to go in with a clean slate. And what I mean by a clean slate is forget about if you've already drilled a couple of days or a couple weeks, you know, forget about, you know, if you're like prior service, forget about all that shit, right? Just everybody's equal at basic training, everybody's the same, nobody's better than the other. And you guys, at the beginning anyway, you're going to see in basic training the ones that are going to stand out, they're going to stand out, but they're going to be doing it the right way. Like they're going to be just doing their business, doing their work, and they're going to be a-okay to go. It's going to be like the drill sergeants will know, like, hey, that guy's really going all out, he's trying. But if you're that guy that's like, hey, listen to me, guys, you know, I did JRTC, I was in the National Guard, I've already drilled a couple of weeks, like, nobody's gonna respect that. Respect is earned, it's not given, it's not something that you can demand respect, whether they reciprocate it or not, completely up to the individual. But you can't just be like, no, you have to respect me, because, you know, I don't know why I do that voice. That's just the voice I do for like my JRTC kid impression or whatever. But yeah, like, again, go in there, base level, everybody's the same, work hard, you know, suffer in silence, you know, do what you need to do, get the job done, go back to the bay, rest, rinse, wash, repeat, and then you're done with basic training. You go to AIT, cool, you're there, same thing, everybody's the same. It's starting at zero pretty much, and then you have to learn everything that you're going to learn for your job, whether you're active duty, reserves, National Guard, doesn't matter. The only difference is that once you guys graduate, AIT or primarily AIT, reservists and National Guardsmen will go home. They'll go to their hometown, their home state, whatever. They'll continue their drilling. Hey, maybe they'll go on a deployment, a rotation somewhere, Middle East, Korea, Kuwait, you know, it doesn't matter. Maybe they'll have like in the country mobilizations to, like, you know, donor centers, like anything, depending on your MOS, right? It just varies. Active duty from AIT, once they graduate, they'll go to their first duty stations. They'll continue on doing the every single day type of stuff, right? Whether it's, you know, going to the motor pool, doing their job, you know, getting ready for deployments. They'll be living that life 24/7, as opposed to the National Guardsmen, reservists that, you know, they go home, you know, they show up for that weekend and they're like, all right, cool, hey, I showed up. And by no means is being in the reserves and National Guard a bad thing. Like, I'm in the reserves right now. That shit is sweet. I love it. It's great. The leadership is tremendous. I feel like there's a lot more communication in there as well, as opposed to, you know, active duty was. But, you know, that was just my experience in active duty. It was good. It was also bad. But it was neutral. But the reserves, I've had nothing but good experiences. I've had a great time in there, and really the only thing that, you know, is like different is just, you know, the component you're in and how people perceive that component. And they're like, oh, you're in the reserves, you're a nasty girl, you know. And they call the reservists nasty girls because National Guard, right? Oh, you're a reservist, like, oh, you're not as cool as me, I'm active duty. Like, nobody gives a shit if you're active duty, if you're reserves, National Guard. You're all in the Army, you know what I mean? You all graduated from basic training, you all graduated from AIT. The only difference is active duty is gonna keep living that Army life for whatever, but they chose to do that. Cool, good for you, man. Like, I did the same shit. And, you know, reservists, National Guard, they get to go home, live their life, and, you know, play Army, do Army stuff, you know. And to me, like, it's cool. Whatever you choose, that's awesome for you. Like, that's great. And at the end of the day, you're all part of the Army. Like, I love seeing on, like, TikTok or Instagram comments like, oh, you're in the reserve, you're in the National Guard, to, like, other people that, like, just graduated basic, right? Like, people they went with, like, people they went to basic training with. Even in basic training, you'll see some beef like, oh, you're the National Guard, you're in the reserves, like, ugh, could never be me, right? Like the active duty people that are in basic training still with the reservists and National Guard are just talking mad shit, right? This isn't the case for everywhere, but it's just funny to see because, like, bro, you guys are all in basic training together at the same time. The only difference is he's gonna get to go home, you know, visit his family, you know, with his wife, kids, you know, visit his mom, dad, whatever, and, you know, going to college while you're gonna be in the motor pool sweeping stuff up and active duty. Not everybody goes in the motor pool, right? It's just, you know, depending on your unit, you might have a great time in active duty, but it's just funny when you really think about it. From like, once you're in, I promise you, you'll understand more what I'm saying if you're not already in. But if you are in already, you know what I'm talking about. And this video has just been kind of all over the place. I just wanted to have fun with it. I just wanted to, you know, talk about, you know, quick little topic, answer question, just go on my rant about, you know, reserves, active duty, National Guard always beefing with each other, like, oh, I'm better than you, no, I'm better. Nobody cares. You're all in the Army, whatever. You guys did basic training together, you did AIT together, and all that fun shit, right? But with that being said, guys, thank y'all so much. This is just kind of like a video, just to put out a video today. I just wanted to talk to you guys, you know, show my face on this Friday afternoon, evening, whenever it is you're watching this. I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm gonna be a lot more blunt and honest and cracking a lot more jokes in my future videos. I feel like it's more who I am, and that's like what I started off with my channel. You know, like my first ever military videos were like blunt as shit. I was cussing a fuck ton, like, you know, just no holds bars, like just going all out. And then I kind of like watered it down I don't know when it started watering down, and I was like, you know, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna be more, you know, professional, or, you know, like try and speak in a better way to get my videos across. But I feel like you guys will appreciate the authenticity more when I'm just, you know, talking the way I usually talk, and, you know, just cussing up a storm, because I cuss a lot. I cuss a lot, and you guys will probably end up cussing a lot too once you do a couple years in the military, right? It's just like a second nature, something you pick up on. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. My schedule as it stands is Monday, short 60-second tips, tricks, and hacks video. Wednesday is a live stream, usually an hour long, answering your all's questions about basic training, AIT, OSID, first duty stations, whatever it is you guys can think of about joining the Army. And Fridays, like today, is a full-length video talking about different things that go on in the military, various topics, whether it's 68 whiskey, combat medic stuff, joining the Army, basic training, all that shit, right? But again, hope you appreciate it. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to this video if you're not already, and check out my Instagram at Ben_Allen175. And I'll put some videos here on the screen also talking about Yellow Phase, No More Shark Attack, the first 100 yards, all that fun stuff. And thank y'all so much. I'll see you on the next one. Later.